Right. Yeah, disappointed in the loss. Thought we gave ourselves plenty of opportunities. I thought we had a couple of chances in the last couple of drives that we didn't take advantage of. We lost the turnover battle really for the first time, so thought that was a big difference in the game. But yet there was, a lot of positives. Particularly early in the game, I thought we did some good things. It was nice to see Jimmy had a couple of nice catches, contested catches. I'll open it up to questions.
Do you feel like you needed to see those contested catches going into this game?
Yeah, I think that was one of the things that we've said this, that, we don't have to see it every day from these guys, particularly the veteran players, but yet at some point we have to see it. So, and we saw it tonight.
Yeah, does it kick from 50 way more heavily than one from 60, just given that that's probably a more common player? Is it kind of just all?
I think it's all encompassing. He nailed the 50-yarder, went right down the middle, and then the 60-yarder just hung it out to the right, a little bit, had plenty of leg. And look, I mean, percentages of 60-yarders aren't very high in our league, but yet I wanted to give the kid a chance to see what he could do, and he just missed the kick.
Dennis, were you pleased with Brian Brzez's activity in that first half, just how he was?
Yeah. I thought he was active in the game. I don't know what his final stats were, but I did think he was active in the game, both in against the run and with the pass rush. So I thought I saw, it looked like there was a couple of good things I saw at Isaiah Foskey also in the game. So look, we got some tough decisions that are coming up. We got a lot of good football players on this team, and we got to make some decisions over the next 48 hours.
Dennis, are you where you want to be after 3 preseason games?
I don't think you're ever where you want to be or where we need to be. We're in a race to improve, getting ready for the opener this, here in 2 weeks from today. But there's a lot of positives with this football team right now. But yet there's certainly some things that we got to improve on.
How pleased were you to see the penalties in particular plummet down?
Yeah, it was much better. It was much better in the game. I think we had one false start, and I think we took too long at the line of scrimmage and needed to kind of get into the flow a little bit and get the snap going. So, but I thought that was a step forward.
How have you just seen Jimmy kind of progress as he's gotten more snaps and gotten slaves under him and all that?
Yeah, I think really probably since the Charger practices, I started to see some signs of the mental picture that I have of Jimmy Graham, and then again I saw it this week in practice, and I saw it carry over into the game. So that was a positive.
How do you feel Isaiah Foskey's kind of progressing?
I think he's getting better. Yet he's still a rookie and still has a long way to go. But he's made significant strides from where he was, in OTAs and even the first part of training camp. So, and look, that's what you want to see. You want to see a guy that every time he gets an opportunity to go out there and get more reps, you see a guy that's getting more comfortable in what we're asking him to do.
Dennis, how difficult is it going to be next 48 hours?
Well, look, this time of year is always difficult, and probably more difficult this year, and that's a good challenge to have, a good problem to have, knowing that we've got a lot of good football players, and we'll go through this tomorrow and have some significant meetings to talk about it, and we'll pick the right 53 for this team.
More difficult than others just because you have a lot of guys for a few spots?
Yeah, I think we just got a lot of good players, and you can't keep them all. So there'll be some tough moves.
Will you guys do everything on Tuesday, or will it be kind of?
Yeah, we'll discuss it tomorrow and see where we're at.
How do you rest for Trevor Penning tonight? Is that kind of just a sign that you've seen beginning of the season?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we've seen some improvement out of him, and I think where we're at right now with where he is, and then, you kind of take into account that, last year in the preseason, in the last preseason game, he was injured, so I felt good about where he was at and didn't want to risk putting him out there.
Dennis Traquan Smith was back on the sidelines with the team. Where is he at in his rehab?
He's getting closer. He's not full go yet, so but he's continuing to rehab.
How do you go about evaluating something like that with some of these guys that maybe haven't had a lot of exposure to dealing with injuries this offseason?
Well, look, I mean, some of the guys, you've got some, significant exposure to in terms of past experience. And then you got to go back to what you saw early on in camp. And yet, gave some other guys some opportunities to try to impress. So, yeah, I think we'll look at all that and we'll take it all into consideration and, we'll make the moves that we think are best for this team. Okay, guys, thanks.
Locker room's open. Ref, lead off. Todd, ready?
Continue to have a very solid camp, preseason, got the big sack today. And how do you feel that your performance has been?
Confidence just really growing. I want to say, the game's slowing down for me. I guess it should do that when you're going on 4 years in. So it's slowing down, and I'm really just out there having fun and work my tail off this off season to get better at certain things. Become more explosive so I could be more effective on the defensive line and more disruptive. So it's nice to see work, hard work pay off, but, it's a long ways to go. Just the preseason. Now it's time to go to work and get started on Tennessee.
Did you expect to play this much? I mean, even the last preseason game, did you expect to get all these reps?
I never really ask questions. I play till they tell me to play. When they tell me I'm not playing, I'm not playing. So never ask questions, just go out there and try to do my job and try to do it to the best of my ability.
Do you feel like this was the best camp that you ever had?
Yeah, it was up there with one of the best camps I had. For me, that's not the challenge. I always feel like I do good in camp. Now I have to bring it over. I stayed healthy during this camp, so thank you to God for that. Now it's time to bring it over to the regular season and just keep building on this success. Just keep building on this momentum we have, and just get things rolling. I want to say, get this defense together, build out this momentum, keep on creating more takeaways, keep on getting to the quarterback, and if we keep on doing that, I could see us sitting there as one of the top defenses in the league, which we have been for a few years now, and we keep it going.
You mentioned the details being the difference of going from good to great. What's the next detail
for me? Consistency. I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's not as hard. I can give it to you, could show you a flash play here and there, but to be able to come out there and do it play after play, that's what the guys I look up to, like Cam, and you see his success, and he's successful for a reason because he's able to do it every play, every game. He don't really miss games and things like that. Being available, and you could just becoming a pro, I want to say, knowing we have to go to work every day and get better and better and strive to be better because there's somebody out there working for your job. And you got to have that in the back of your head every day. And, being available, your body growing with you mentally growing with your body, things like that. And just taking that next step and being consistent and going to work every day and making sure you're working your tail off every day because somebody's coming. Mm-hmm.
What's the next 48 hours going to be like for everybody? Because it seems like a very close team.
There's always one of the toughest days, with the days coming up, one of the toughest days in the league. I pretty much tell everybody, give it your all, talk to God, and let God just take you where you need to be. He wouldn't put you in a position that you shouldn't be in. And that's the same advice I got, from my father when I was going through that. Every year when it get down to this day, because, I still get nervous when it comes to this day and things like that. It's just a nervous day for an NFL player. It's your livelihood. It's something you work hard. You've been with these guys in the trenches with them for, the whole offseason. You've seen guys grow so much. Young guys come in and take their games to another level, but it's the nature of the business. And we all know what we signed up for, and we all know what this can be. That's why I tell every young guy, you're not just playing for the Saints in the preseason. You're playing for all 32 teams, all other teams that's looking at this film, because you never know where you get a call from, and you never know where your number will be called on the season. So just keep going to work. But it's a day that you think about, just got to get through it and, let the cards fall where they may.
How'd you like what you saw from Brian Brzee?
He finally got on one, man. His confidence is growing. You could tell it's going through the roof. And the more he become confident, the better his play is going to be. And you can see that from the day he had a great week of practice, man. Probably his best week of practice since he's been here. And that's just from learning the plays, getting better with the plays, getting more adjusted with the physicality of the game. You can see his confidence is going through the roof. And, I like it that it's, you know, it's clicking for him at the right time. Same with Foskey, man. Confidence going through the roof, and those young guys are going to help us out a lot. But, man, I'm just so proud of him. I know the feeling. I know he's probably been thinking about that, you know, getting the first sack and things like that. So him coming out having a big game was big for us. It was also big for him, and I'm proud of him.
Do you ever feel like almost like a floodgate opens when you do get that first one, and is that like a conscious thing that happens that way?
Yeah. Getting the first one is, and I can't really talk. I ain't had that many of them, but I've been around a lot of them. So getting the first one is always big. You know, it's just like Cam always say, once the first one come, they just start coming in bunches. He's living proof of that. So if he said it, got to be true. So I could see him, you know, they just start coming for him. And, you know, I always tell him, man, if he miss him, I'm there to make him right on him. So, yeah.
Y'all ever talking about that spin move?
Did you see it? Did you? I never saw nobody spin on the line. Like, he's spinning. Usually people work it up a few steps, then spin. He spins on the line. I told you, I said this a few days ago. Yeah, it's cat-like quickness. He's able to jump off the ball. For him being so big, it's a sight to see. It's really a sight to see. And he has been blessed with the God-given ability to be that quick at that size. And the sky's the limit for him, for real. And, man, I'm glad he on our team. That's it. Thank y'all.
Jameis, what's it like to have a guy like Jimmy Graham to target the red zone?
He's a living legend. It's a blessing to be able to throw him the ball and watch him go up there and make spectacular catches.
James, just what's your overall takeaway just from this preseason as a whole?
This was my best camp of my career. Happy that we were able to go out there and compete. Unfortunately, we didn't get a win this last game, but I'm just grateful for every chance to go out there and take advantage of opportunities.
What do you think has made this your best game?
I think just the numbers, high completion percentage, accurate throws, 100% decisions. So that's what made it my best camp.
What have you seen from a guy like Shaq Davis, who's obviously trying to fight to get one of those 53 boxing spots?
Man, I think Shaq is an incredible talent. Just his maturation during camp, you know, from the beginning out there in those hot days, he had his back against the wall because he wasn't able to compete in some of those practices that was really hot because of some conditions that he has. But over the past 4 weeks, I know he has made the biggest improvement in that receiver room. So I'm so happy for him and proud of who he's become as a player.
And someone else you've taken a lot of snaps with is Kendrick Miller. He mentioned he wanted to improve on his receiving. What have you seen in that area?
Yeah, I mean, he's learning from one of the best multi-facet running backs in the game in Alvin Kamara. So they're in the same room every single day. So he's learning from AK. Kendra is an unbelievable talent himself. So just his ability to learn, his ability to tote that rock and make those great catches in the passing game is going to be great for him.
James, can you talk about what the next 48 hours is going to be like for everybody?
Yeah, I'm grateful doing this. This is my first year that we were able to keep, you know, a 90-man roster until this point. So being able to evaluate players and being able to see what people can do up to this point has been definitely great on my heart, and I'm sure a lot of guys' heart over the course of the past few weeks. But the next 48 hours is going to be tough. You know, that's just a part of this business. However, these guys, we make sure that we speak into everyone, that they know they will find a way to be resilient. It's in the Lord's hands, and that's just a part of this business that's unfortunate. However, I commend all the people that are going to make a roster, but also to the people that don't make a roster, keep your head up and keep fighting, because you're not just playing for one team. You're playing for 32 teams. 32 teams are evaluating you, and hopefully they can make a roster somewhere.
Jameis, how great was it to get Jimmy Graham a touchdown?
It was excellent to get Jimmy Graham a touchdown. Like, I get an opportunity to throw to a living legend. You know, got an opportunity just to learn from some things that we worked on at practice. So it was great to make it come into fruition.
Have you seen him, make that progression? I think DA talked about, like, it was probably the Chargers joint practice that well from him?
No, Jimmy has been Jimmy since he first walked in the building. I just think that a lot of other tight ends had opportunities, right? Obviously, with his experience, he's been to, 12 training camps in his career. So we needed to keep him fresh. We need to keep him healthy. And I think when you go out there in LA and you're not playing in these conditions that we play in every single day, I think it'll allow for a lot of people to find their best side.
James, how good overall do you feel just about this team since you've been in this room for a while?
I feel very confident about this team. We're going to do big things
Why do you say that? Why do you think that you'll do big things?
because I'm confident about this team.
Gonna be in Orlando next weekend?
I haven't decided yet, but I can't really express how much excitement that I have for Jordan Travis and Trey Benson to go and put a whooping on some of these Tigers, because I can't say that publicly because we don't know who's listening.
I think we saw you on the sideline last year. What did you enjoy most about not only that game, but the environment and really the competition of these two programs, storied programs going head to head?
Well, having an ACC-SEC conversation has always been something that came up throughout my career, especially competing against guys and playing Auburn in the national championship. That's always a topic of discussion. Hopefully, Florida State to go ahead and join the SEC so we can eliminate that talk. But it was fun really being here. Just because, it was in the Dome, and the Dome just adds a different type of value to the game when you're playing here. I was kind of really happy that because it really was a home field game for the Tigers. But purple's my favorite color, so I root for LSU when they're not playing against FSU.
Is this a topic of discussion in the locker room this week at all?
No one really wants to place any wagers on this game. We're just going to keep everything focused and prepare for Tennessee. However, they really don't want no smoke.
You mentioned the electricity of the Dome. How excited are you for that game in Tennessee to the regular season have it packed?
Well, you know how our fans are. Our fans, they show up and they show out. And even just this preseason, just being able to feel some of the atmosphere. Did you hear how the crowd roared when Jimmy caught that seam, right? And that was just only half of our attendance, So I'm grateful to be a part of this organization, to experience a fan club like this. Yesterday we had the touchdown lunch, and just to see the passion and just the eye contact, the authenticity of our fans. I met this lady from Wisconsin. I was like, how are you a fan of New Orleans and you're from Wisconsin? I told her to go over there and talk to Ram because I couldn't believe it. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.